What's the most important Qigong exercise? So of all the Qigong you could be doing, there's a lot to choose from jumping around like an animal to stretching on the floor to doing slow motion like you're doing Tai Chi, to breath work, to meditation. There's so many Qigong exercises. In my opinion, and I found this true with a lot of the Qigong teachers I most respect, the most important Qigong exercise is what is often called Zhan Zhuang, standing like a tree, or sometimes it's called Wuji, the emptiness posture. So most Qigong systems have their own version of Wuji or Zhan Zhuang. You'll see a lot of different variations where the hands are low, they're high, they're way up high, all these different configurations with the hands. But generally, the rest of the body is always doing almost the exact same thing in all these systems. So I'll just show you one of these today. This is something you want to train over time to go longer and longer. So I'll make a few videos after this and release them so that you can keep upping your training to be able to hold this posture longer. Basically what this posture does is it aligns your spine in a much longer position so that the fluid can flow better through the spine, so the qi and the energy can move better through the spine. And then all the rest of your connective tissues as well. So your fascia body, or the huang, the sort of connective tissue body, is something we talk about a lot in Qigong. We think Qigong is just about the qi, the energy, but it's also about this elasticy connective tissue body we're trying to build. So if bodybuilders go to the gym and they're trying to build their muscular body, Qigong people go to the, dojo and build their elastic tissue body. So that's basically what this posture cultivates, and it's the root of all the rest of our Qigong, having this posture built into the body to be effortless. Then when we start to move through different Qigong exercises where we're flowing, or through Tai Chi even, where we're stepping, we maintain this posture, this elasticy nature to our body, and move through that instead of this. A lot of people think Qigong is just all about getting all loose and moving like your water, right? But the river needs the riverbanks, right? We need the structure together with the water to create the optimal flow and power. So, without further ado, we're going to find our posture. So, obviously this is done standing. Basically, you're going to find your feet right under the shoulders. Toes are pointed forward. If you want to get really traditional, it's actually your second toe. The toe next to the big toe is what's pointed forward. And think about like your hands. If you pointed your hands straight forward, it's not the thumb pointing forward, right? It's the first finger or the middle finger. If I pointed my thumbs forward, it would really be my fingers pointed outwards. So I think it's the same thing with our feet. It might look a little bit like they're pointed inwards, but because toes naturally fan out, or as yours should if you haven't ruined them with tight shoes, you should feel it should be your second toe pointing in and the big forward, and your big toe slightly pointed in. Now this isn't right for everybody. First rule of Qigong is do no harm. So if you find this hurts your knees in any way, you can have your toes a little bit turned out. Sometimes that helps. So next thing is we have the weight slightly forward in the foot, so that activates the arch of the foot. We feel our toes kind of grab the floor rather than being lazy, kind of hanging back on our heels. We're a little bit forward. You feel that engage your foot, right? So you turn on the arch of the foot. You make sure the weight's kind of even between the inside and outside edge of the foot. So we're not too collapsed in. We're not, I don't know if anybody has this posture, collapsing out. But we feel this kind of nice even where the arch is slightly lifted. Next, our knees, just a little bent. You want to be able to see your knees, so if you look down and you can't see your knees, it's probably because your knees are too far forward, and this usually will put stress on your knees. So if you have knee trouble especially, you're not going to want to come down quite so far there. After that is the quad, the hip crease here. So we want to feel this sinking, right? You can actually put your hands here, it's kind of your bikini line, and if you sink down, you feel it almost kind of eats your hands a little bit. At the same time, this is a little counterintuitive, but we feel the tailbone sink down as well. And this might take some time. You might need to spend a little while training this to feel your low back muscles here release and allow that to happen. But as that happens, it starts to basically lengthen the lower spine. So the point's not so much what's happening here or in the tailbone, it's this process is starting to take this form of our spine and open it up and lengthen it. Okay, next, as that's happening, we're going to relax our chest. So instead of standing in a big military posture, it's very much the the opposite. Chest is relaxed, tailbone's relaxed. It's as though someone were coming to push on us, and instead of standing up here with our center of gravity lifted, we're easily pushed over. We've dropped our center of gravity down towards our dantian, our lower abdomen. Feel more grounded, more steady here. All right, but we don't want to be hunched over, so we're going to do the opposite with our head. Our crown of our head's going to lift up, and our chin's going to tuck back, so we're not lifting our head like this. The head's lifting as the chin tucks, so it's like the skull is rotating forward as it's being lifted, and the pelvis is rotating backwards as it's dropping. So these two different rotations happening, and this basically starting to just get our spine long, not too tense. It's going to take time to train this, so don't rush your body into some perfect iron rod of a spine. Finally, we relax our shoulders down away from our ears. Feel your shoulder blades kind of slide down your back. Then we're going to take our arms around for the lower embrace the tree posture. So like you're holding a beach ball with the hands underneath. There's a million versions of what we do with the hands. This is just one of them. Elbows are slightly bent, so they're not straight. They're not too bent, just in between. So you have a hoop in your arms. And you're going to have your elbows not rest against your ribs. So you're going to be a little bit out without using too much effort. You don't want to feel tense as you hold this. The elbows are just floating gently away from the ribs. All right, then finally, hands. You shouldn't have your fingers touching. Fingers should be spread as though you have webbed hands. You're getting ready to go swimming. You open up the webbing. That's what we feel in our hands, again, without being tense, so still relaxed. So we just go through all those little pieces. Come back to this video once in a while and just kind of remember all those little points. On this first one, we're just going to hold here for a minute. So take a few deep breaths. Feel your breath here, gently, slowly massaging your internal organs. That inhale pulls the diaphragm down. It presses on the organs. Exhale, diaphragm goes up. Belly relaxes in. Practice our deep abdominal breathing. So this posture is usually a little bit challenging and stressful at first. So we use a slow, deep breath to keep the nerves calm, the mind calm, as we train this into the body. A few more deep breaths. We'll eventually start to feel like our muscles are doing less work and our elasticy connective tissue body has adopted this shape and just seems to relax naturally into it. But don't expect that for a little while. All right, so this is a good posture to train before going into your normal kind of flowy Qigong exercises. And you can try to keep this sort of elasticy, full feeling in your body, the spread, the length of the spine, spread of the connective tissues as you do your other Qigong exercises. I usually like to do some sort of Dao Yin stretching type exercises, then hold this posture, then do more of my Tai Chi or Qigong flowing exercises. And then after that, meditation usually works well. So try this video, maybe a week on this one. We're just using that short routine. You can kind of fast forward through my talking at the beginning, and then I will come out with a new video, and maybe 3 or 4 more where we're going to keep adding a little bit of time to that, making it a bit more challenging until you can hold this for 10, 15, 20 minutes at a time, and we really start building that connective tissue body. All right, hope you enjoyed that routine. Let me know what you thought in the comments. If you got questions, let me know. Look forward to hearing from you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That'll really help my channel and help you know when my new stuff comes out. All right, thanks everybody.